Okay, right now I am standing in the intertidal zone. You can see the ocean out there, and you can see that everything here is really wet. There's lots of tide pools around me. All the seaweed is really wet. And all the creatures that live here can live when the water's in or the water's out. Sometimes they wait for the water to come in to have their food come to them, but they can survive when the water's not there. You can see different tidal zones at this beach. Look where you can see. Can you see the difference between where I'm standing and the rocks and the logs up there that are dry? That's the high tide zone. The water only goes up there when it's really high tide. Then there's a very low tide zone. It's way out on those rocks. Most of the time covered with water in the low tide zone. Only when the tide goes really low do those rocks come out, and those tide pools are accessible. I'm gonna walk out soon to a low tide zone, and we're gonna see some bigger anemones and some other things out there that we don't see here in the mid-tide zone, in the intertidal zones. But I love how you can see all the different zones on this beach. You can see where the tide goes, and when it comes to high tide, it comes up there and it tosses those logs and it strips the bark off of them and it makes them really smooth, kind of like sandpaper would, but it's the ocean that does it instead.